Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wait What We Talking About podcast, episode 143. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma911 every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Join the chat and all the fun conversation if you're a subscriber over there. Love to have you in on all the fun, but if you can't catch live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week. It's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video in MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, hashtag at merch store. Get all of your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand. Support us. And we love you for it. We're back. Another solo episode. Originally supposed to do a guest podcast today. I had to reschedule. For those of you guys who aren't watching when this is recorded, I'm in the process of moving right now, so had to kind of pre-record this one. But don't worry, we'll get Jake on the podcast soon. Excited to pick his brain about his film studies as well as some Marvel stuff, which, speaking of, those are our two topics today. Let's start off with film. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I feel like I have quite the gap in knowledge when it comes to film and movies. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that people are like, say, oh, have you seen X, Y, or Z? And I'm like, sure haven't. So I'm interested to see how lacking my knowledge is of these movies. Now, granted, I know there's a lot of content out there, a lot of movies out there. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to see everything that comes out. But I was curious to see, maybe from, I don't know if professional is the right term, but a strong source of movies, see, based on their study or their knowledge, what movies I've seen, what movies I haven't seen, and see where this gap in knowledge is. Hopefully this is an interesting topic. I don't know. But we're going to be going through the top 100 movies according to IMDB and their charts. And we're just going to see how many of these things I've actually watched. And if I know anything about them. So yeah. We're going to break it down into 10s. I'll just list off the 10s. Don't worry, I'll keep a tally for you of which ones I've actually seen, and we'll see how gross and abysmal these results are at the end. We'll have some fun with it. All right, so like I said, top 100 according to IMDb, their movies. So these are number 100 to 90. Or actually 91. We have Emily, Vertigo, North by Northwest, M, The Hunt, Lawrence of Arabia, Citizen Kane, Capernaum, Reservoir Dogs, and High and Low. I can tell you right now we're off to a great start because I haven't seen any of these. Now, granted, some of these films have aged. Whatever M is a 1931 film, so, there's that. I've heard a lot of great things about Citizen Kane. Is that the Rosebud movie? So, yeah, not great. Not a good start. I don't know what Capernaum is. Came out in 2018. Let's read a synopsis, shall we? Capernaum. While serving a 5-year sentence for a violent crime, a 12-year-old boy sues his parents for neglect. Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of this one. Well, anyways, that's the most recent one on this from those 10. All right. So there's that. Let's see, about 90 to 81. Okay. We have Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, 3 Idiots, Singing in the Rain, Your Name, Requiem for a Dream, Toy Story 3, Good Will Hunting, and Once Upon a Time in America. All right, we're off to a little bit better start. I have seen some of these. I have seen Star Wars. I have seen Toy Story 3. And that's it. I know a lot of people really like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Definitely have heard a lot about that one. Singing in the Rain, I think the most I know of that movie is from the Disney Great Movie Ride, R.I.P. And then Good Will Hunting, I know the synopsis for that movie. It's like a janitor, right? And then like he's super smart in mathematics after solving some kind of equation. Other than that, I don't know what happens. Like, that's the build. I don't know where it goes from there or anything. Your Name, I feel, is like an anime. Let's see what that one is. It is an anime. Two strangers find themselves linked in a bizarre way. When a connection forms, will distance be the only thing to keep them apart? Usually distance does that. Does keep people apart. Okay. All right. So we're up to 2 in the first almost 20. So that's great. All right. Moving on to 80 to 71. We have Avengers Endgame, Princess Mononoke, Inglourious Bastards, The Boat, Coco, Toy Story, Braveheart, Amadeus, Joker, and Old Boy. Alright, so I've seen Endgame, I've seen Toy Story, I've seen Joker. Did I miss anything? No. Alright, I'm very surprised Joker made it into this. Don't get me wrong, Joker was good, but like top 100 of all time? I guess this must be like some kind of fan polling in here. Apparently it's got an 8.3 star rating. So, I mean, well, like I said, it was good. And I'm looking up a little bit above the list too. But was Joker better than Endgame? Maybe this is my Marvel bias. I guess Endgame does need a lot of setup too. Like, it's a good movie on its own, but there'd be a lot of questions if you just watched Endgame by itself. While Joker is an origin movie that stands alone. Like, obviously, would you get a little bit more if you knew some Batman knowledge? Like, I think you'd get more out of it as a fan, but, like, there's no references or Easter eggs, per se, from that. So, alright. It does stand alone pretty well. Obviously, Toy Story is a classic. Coco, I'm a little surprised is up here. I've heard great things about Coco, but good for them. Inglourious Bastards, another one I've heard fantastic things about. And another one that a friend has recommended, Uber Brent, Princess Mononoke. Apparently very violent. Apparently a longer movie. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll watch that. I think a lady was also interested in giving that a try. But okay, we're up to 5 in the first 30. Number 70 to number 61. We have The Dark Knight Rises, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, American Beauty, Aliens, Avengers Infinity War, Witness for the Prosecution, The Great Dictator, The Shining, and Paths of Glory. Okay. Dark Knight Rises, Into the Spider-Verse. Aliens is the sequel, right? Alien was the original. 57 years after surviving an apocalyptic attack aboard her space vessel by merciless space creature, Officer Ripley awakens from hypersleep and tries to warn anyone who will listen. I don't think I've seen Aliens. I think I've seen the first one. So I'm not going to credit this one. Okay, gotcha. On my list of Be Brave and Finally Watch. I have watched Infinity War. And that's it. Shining. Another one, obviously, a lot of people talk about. in a sick, twisted way, I'm tempted to watch it. Lady says I'm going to be petrified. I trust her, so don't think I'm going to watch it. I don't know. It's that weird thing. I think we've talked about it in past podcasts with movies. It's that weird thing of like, I'm tempted to watch. Now, if anyone is new watching this podcast, I don't watch horror movies, and it's not my jelly nor my jam. It's getting to the point now, maybe just because I'm older, I'm getting a little tempted to watch quote-unquote older horror movies. And because now I'm like, oh, it's going to look aged, so maybe that will help me realize, well, duh, all movies are fake. But, like, put it to rest in my brain, like, you don't need to panic, dumbass. So it's like, I know Aliens isn't typical, like, you wouldn't consider that real horror, I guess, for horror fans. Are there horror elements in it? Yes, there's scary elements. Like the Alien series, I talked about Chucky, like trying that out. I've watched the first Halloween and what was there? There was another one I watched. Like I'm tempted to watch like Nightmare on Elm Street, and like this is another one with The Shining. It's like, are you really sure you do want to watch these, or is it that sick curiosity that you shouldn't step over this line? And then you're like, ooh, can't go back now. I know for people who are horror fans, they're like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Just fucking watch it. Whip. No. I don't know. Maybe one day. We'll see. If I'm bored, the sun is at its highest point, and I don't have to sleep for work tomorrow the next day. Who knows? What do they got from 60 to 51? They got Sunset Boulevard, The Lives of Others, WALL-E, Django Unchained, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Apocalypse Now, Memento, Cinema Paradiso, City Lights, and Alien. Okay. So we've seen WALL-E. And I'm pretty sure I've seen Alien. It's been a while. But I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. Okay. Indiana Jones. This is my thing with Indiana Jones. Not a bad thing. I've seen most of them, but only pieces of them. I remember one of them, they eat monkey brains. Short Round's hilarious. I know in one of them, which probably is Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Ark of the Covenant is in there, and doesn't it like burn somebody into a skeleton or melt them or some shit? I don't think I've seen that, but I know it's a thing. There's that weird one with Shia LaBeouf in it. Don't think I've seen anything with that one. Yeah, I've never watched an Indiana Jones all the way through. So, oops. Apocalypse Now, I think, is the asteroid one. Maybe. Memento, I've heard that name a lot. And I've heard good things about Django, but yeah. These other ones, not so much. Alright, 50 to 41. We have Rear Window, Once Upon a Time in the West, Grave of the Fireflies, Harakiri, Modern Times, what the fuck? Top Gun Mavericks on here? Alright, interesting, good for them. The Untouchables, Whiplash, Casablanca, and The Prestige. Well, that's a big goose egg on all of these. Whiplash is that drumming movie with Miles Teller. Heard good things about that. Casablanca, I only know about the airplane at the end. Spoilers. On the rest, I've heard The Prestige. Top Gun just came out, or at least Maverick did. Yeah, the rest of these, no. Haven't heard a thing about. So let's go to 40 through 31, shall we? We have The Departed, The Usual Suspects, American History X, Gladiator, The Lion King, Parasite, Leon the Professional, or Leon, The Pianist, Psycho, and Spirited Away. Okay. I have seen Lion King. I have seen Psycho. And I have seen Spirited Away. Now, for those of you being like, wait a minute, you've seen Psycho? Yes. I watched this in college during a film studies class or something like that. It was good. Did I still jump and be freaked out at some things? Yeah. Yeah, I did. When the initial stabbing scene with the girl, no, I didn't jump at that because obviously we all knew that. There was a jump scare that they like gleamed on, like they hinted at it, like they set it up. You could see the setup. I still jumped when it happened. So there's the police officer who's investigating the mom's house, and he's going up the stairs, and you can see from like a above shot or something, like you can see, I don't know, something with the door. I don't know if you see a shadow or you see like the door is propped open so someone could peer through it or whatever. But you see him start to go up the stairs. Dun, dun, you know, he's investigating. He's got his gun pulled out, blah, blah, blah. And then the mom, aka not the mom, the son, runs out of the room and, does the whole stabby thing. Still jumped, still scared the shit out of me. You get this stupid whoa as the policeman falls down the stairs, which is kind of hilarious. Still jumped and scared me at that. Overall good movie, but yeah, still a wimp with that. Spirited Away was fantastic. Thank you to Lady for having me watch that Miyazaki film. Good time there. Obviously Lion King, classic. All right, 30 to 21. We have Back to the Future, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Star Wars, Interstellar, The Green Mile, Life is Beautiful, Saving Private Ryan, City of God, The Silence of the Lambs, and It's a Wonderful Life. Okay, I'm going to count Back to the Future, but I will be honest, it was a long time ago and I don't remember it super well. Obviously he goes back in time. Obviously his mom wants to bang him. Awkward. Obviously he's got to set up the dad with the mom. And then he gets the 88 miles per hour. Zoom, he goes back. I get the plot points, but it's been a while since I've seen the movie. I don't think I've seen 2. I don't think I've seen 3. But I do remember seeing this one. It's just the details are fuzzy. Terminator 2. I actually watched both of those within the past year for the first time. Good times there. Good times there. Star Wars, duh. Good times. The rest of these, goose egg. I have seen the opening of Saving Private Ryan thanks to history class. I think we even had to get a permission slip signed because obviously they go in on that movie. Pretty violent. A man walks around without his arm at one point and has to go pick it up. I did see the opening scene for that movie, but other than that, I did see nothing. Silence of the Lambs I've heard a lot about. Lotion in the Basket, whatever the fuck that means. Apparently there's a girl in a hole or a well or some shit. Interstellar I've heard's fantastic. Which space movie is that? Because there was that and Gravity. Is this the one with Matt? Oh, it's, what's this fuck's name? McConaughey? Is that his name? Hold on. Yeah, McConaughey. Okay, maybe I haven't seen anything. Heard that's good. Haven't seen anything of it. Yeah. Green Mile, I've heard good things too. Alright. 2011. 7 Samurai. 7. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Goodfellas. The Matrix. Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. Inception. Fight Club. And Forrest Gump. Okay. I've seen The Matrix. I've seen Episode 5. I've seen Two Towers. That's it. Alright. Goodfellas, the mob movie. Inception, I've heard great things too, about sleeping and then re-sleeping and nightmares and dreams within dreams, whatever. Fight Club, I know you just don't talk about Fight Club. And then spoiler, he's like not a sociopath. Like, he's got a split personality, or like he's imagining the person there or something. Yeah. Forrest Gump also heard good things. I know there's the box of chocolates and he's running. That's about it. Alright, what do we got for the top 10? We have The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Pulp Fiction. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Schindler's List. 12 Angry Men. Godfather Part 2. The Dark Knight. The Godfather. And The Shawshank Redemption. I have seen Lord of the Rings Fellowship, Lord of the Rings Return, and Dark Knight. Alright. So, this is one of those big gaps in my film knowledge. Godfather. I have not seen any of the Godfathers. 1, 2, or 3. Haven't seen any of them. I know they're fantastic and they're really good. Oops. I haven't seen any of them. Schindler's List, I hear, is another good one. I think that's got the Liam Neesons in it, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it does. Obviously not great subject matter, but I've heard good things about that one. Pulp Fiction, I hear, is a cult classic, and that's honestly been on my Netflix queue for the longest time. I just haven't committed to watching it. And then, what's Shawshank Redemption about? I know that one's talked about a lot as well, but I don't think I ever knew the premise of it. Two imprisoned men bond over a number of years, finding solace and eventual redemption through acts of common decency. 9.3 out of 10. Alright. Yeah, heard good stuff about it. But yeah, never seen it. Dark Knight at number 3, kind of surprising. Not gonna lie there. It's a 9. Wonder if that's because of Heath. 12 Angry Men. I think I've watched one scene of it, or see, I can't remember if I watched one scene of it or if I watched all of it. Now, I know some people watching are like, wait a minute. A 1957 movie, you watched all of it? I'm trying to remember. It was definitely in school. I don't remember if it was English class or history or whatever the fuck. But obviously, or if you don't know, not obviously, the whole premise of the movie is it's like a court case. And everybody presumes that this person did it, committed the crime, was murder or whatever it was. And one guy kind of sees through the evidence and has to convince the other 11 that, this person is innocent. Now, I do remember seeing the end of the court case where the person was innocent. So maybe I did see this all the way through, because I don't remember a lot of details, but I do remember like the different arguments, or at least stances, and then like slowly over time people would be convinced. And I feel like the last guy like broke down in tears after he was finally like shown all the evidence or whatever. You know what? I'm gonna chalk this one up as I've watched it. I'm pretty sure it's this iteration. It might have been maybe a remake, perhaps. I don't know if there is even a remake. Maybe I should look that up. We got time, right? Let's Not 12 NF. 12 Angry Men. There's a 97 version. Maybe I watched the 97 version. No. No, I'm pretty sure it was... Yeah. No. Yeah, I definitely watched the 57 version. So yeah, it must have been something at school that I did watch it. Alright. Not too shabby. So all in all, out of the top 100 IMDB rating films, your boys watched 21. Not gonna lie, that was a lot more surprising than I thought this would turn out. Granted, a lot of them are animated films that I had seen. Also, more recent films that I had seen, either in the fantasy or hero genre. These more classic titles and movies, that's where the gap of knowledge is. So hopefully you enjoyed that part of, like, you haven't seen that one? You... What? Yeah, there's a lot definitely on my backlog of movies, as well as my backlog of everything, that, not that I have to watch, obviously. Time is a very valuable resource, but that given the opportunity, maybe if I have the free time, maybe I should delve into and give a chance, if I so feel inclined to. Because there are definitely movies in this top 100. I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard good things about it. Heard good things about that one. Give it a chance, form my own opinion, and see where it goes. But hope you guys enjoyed this top 100 list. How many have you guys watched? What haven't you watched? What's your gap in knowledge? I'd be intrigued to hear about that. And yeah, if you have any other lists like this you'd like me to go through, I'd definitely be down. It was fun. It was fun reading through and seeing the progression of the list, and obviously the surprises like Top Gun Maverick. What are you doing in here? Seeing what did show up, and they consider to be top 100. The list I'm going off of does do a full 250. I thought that would have been a little extensive for the podcast. But maybe one of these days we'll have to go through and be like, whoa, wow, we only got 10 more. But yeah, if you want to do it yourself or so inclined, you can do that. Moving on to topic 2, let's continue our movie talk, but we're going to be talking about the MCU, something a little bit more up my wheelhouse. I want to talk about the Phase 4 so far in terms of films and in terms of shows. What's happened? What's going on? What are my thoughts, theories, etc.? With this topic, we are going to go full spoilers on as of releasing all the films, all the series, so for a timestamp, I guess, later on if you're listening to this. As of release, Thor Love and Thunder just came out, and the final episode of Ms. Marvel on Disney Plus just wrapped this past Wednesday. So that is your reference point, I guess you could say. So if you haven't watched these things, or there's a gap and you don't want to be spoiled, this is your time. See you later. Bye. Come back. Welcome back. How's it going? Okay. So as of right now, the material that we have gotten from Phase 4 has been Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and Thor Love and Thunder for the movies. For TV series, we have WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki Season 1, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Ms. Marvel as of right now. Coming up, for films, movie-wise coming out, we have Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, and Fantastic Four. For TV series, we have Ms. Marvel. We have She-Hulk Attorney at Law. We have an Untitled Halloween special, so I don't know how well that will tie in, as well as the Guardians Holiday special. We have Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars, and an Untitled Wakanda series. All right. So, roughly halfway movie-wise and TV show-wise. So let's start with the grand overview. How do I feel Phase 4 is shaping up so far? I think right now things are okay, but kind of lacking direction. Now, if you've watched the Marvel Plus podcast over on YouTube on Enigma 911, I kind of break down the series episode by episode, do recaps of what's going on, and then give my general thoughts, especially in the movies, and those discussions, like what is going on and the repercussions of those individually. Overall, right now, I think things are fine from where the films in the series leave us off, but we're not having a build moment as like previous phases have. Now, granted, this is a big reset from obviously the high point that was Infinity War, that was Endgame. Obviously, Thanos was built for a long time, and we get this culmination and this closure with Endgame. We don't have... It's hard to... Okay, not that we don't have. Well, maybe we don't have. It's hard to say we're not building to anything right now because we don't see the end, per se. Or I feel like that could be a defense for it. Right now, we're still unsure of who our big bad is. We could theorize that it's Kang. Obviously, Kang was revealed in Loki Season 1. He's the big TVA guy, keeping the timeline in control, getting rid of variants and multiverse and yada yada. And at the end of Loki Season 1, we obviously get Kang, rid of Kang, the original, or I don't remember his name. Let me see if I can find it quick. That didn't help me at all. Loki Season 1. Loki Season 1. Sorry, guys. He Who Remains. Okay. So Kang, He Who Remains, the one that kind of beat out his other variants, he says he's done. We take him out. He dies thanks to Sylvie, aka Loki. And then at the end, when Loki returns from his time jump or whatever the fuck it is, a new Kang is in charge. We don't know if it's officially Kang the Conqueror, but it does resemble him a little bit more in the statues that are around the Timekeepers area. So, as of right now, it seems like Kang would be the big bad. We've heard that Kang is going to arrive, or at least show up in appearance, in Quantumania for Ant-Man and the Wasp. But time will tell. Will Kang be the big bad overall? Obviously, Thanos was teased for quite some time. We got the big reveal of him at the end of Phase 1. Got the little turn. He's pink. The smirk. We get him arriving again in Guardians of the Galaxy. And then little glimpses here and there when he made the Infinity Gauntlet. And then finally makes his appearance in... Was he in Guardians 2? Maybe it was just fucking Infinity War. Anyways, he was a slow build. We saw only glimpses of him here and there. Is Kang going to be that? Hard to say. We've seen him in only Loki. We haven't seen him make an appearance or do anything in the films. And the reason I think this is the case is because of the time gap. At the end of Loki Season 1, once again, we take care of He Who Remains. At the end, we see, we'll just presume, Kang the Conqueror has taken over. So there's the moment in time of He Who Remains being killed and Kang regaining control. I think right now, everything Phase 4, besides Loki, takes place in this gap. All the films, all the other series that we've seen. Except for Black Widow, because obviously that's between Civil War and Infinity War, to give us a little context of what Black Widow was doing and all that jazz. The rest is happening in between. I guess you can make an argument for Eternals because I don't remember time-wise when that takes place. That is after Endgame. Scratch that, because they're like, oh, why didn't you interfere with Thanos? Well, we can't interfere with things. Blah, whatever. Anyways, so all this is happening in between. That's why we can get the multiverse, because that's variants that are not under control, and potentially why we're not referencing Kang, because he's not technically in control yet. Maybe in Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania, we will see how the new Kang, which is their Kang, kind of gets momentum to take control of the TVA himself. Could this all be a bunch of hoopla I'm pulling out of my ass? Absolutely. No shit. We'll have to see. So, as of right now, that's probably why we haven't gotten a lot of build with Kang. Which, if you think about it from a timeline standpoint, makes sense. But as of right now, for a universe building, some things are falling a little flat. And maybe it's not 100% because of, oh, there's no big bad we're dealing with, but something's missing. And I will say this, the Phase 4 movies started off strong. Black Widow was actually a good movie post-mortem for her. Shang-Chi was fantastic. A new hero we're introducing that people know very little about. Very, very well done. Eternals, surprisingly good. I know some people don't like it, but I think overall it was good. It took a lot of characters, a cast ensemble that we had no idea about, made us care in a short time. Yes, there was a lot of time jumps, but it was good. A lot of confusing homework to do at the end of that movie with post-credits, but I think overall was good. Spider-Man No Way Home, obviously fantastic. A lot of fan love there. Good stuff. Doctor Strange was probably the star of the downfall. It was okay. Some ways that it was presented weren't the greatest. I get it's a director move. If you like Sam Raimi's style, maybe you liked it a little bit more. I was like, Ew. And you can hear a full discussion on my Doctor Strange thoughts, whether it's the Marvel Plus episode of Doctor Strange or another episode of Wait What, where JC joined us, because boy, did we rip that movie a new asshole. Some fun moments in that film, too. I'm not going to lie. I did like Defender Strange. I did like the appearance of the Illuminati, even if they jobbed out to Scarlet Witch later. It was a fun fan service moment. And then Thor, Love and Thunder is another one where it's like 50-50. If you like Taika, I think that's how you say his name. If not, I apologize. If you like his style, you love this movie. If you don't like his style, if you're like me, where it's like, that was trying too hard in the comedy district, then maybe you got mixed thoughts. I thought this was very 50-50. Recently, it seems like the films have taken a downturn. Going into Black Panther, what's my faith level there? I don't know. I have to look something up real quick to see. Okay, is Ryan Coogler still part of this? I want to say yes. Because I have faith in Coogler. Because he's proven himself to be a good director. Obviously, with the passing of Chadwick, that throws a big wrench, obviously, into this, and that is, very, very unfortunate, and there's no avoiding it, right? Like, you could recast Black Panther, but then it would feel off. There's obviously a lot of pressure on the new actor, and then, are you not, what's the term? Disrespecting Chadwick. I don't think that would be the case, but I appreciate the decision of no, Chadwick was Black Panther, his end is the end of the character. It is unfortunate, but it's understandable. So there's a lot a lot of mystery surrounding that film. I have faith in the director, but I don't know. I know the sister, the actress is, my opinion's a mixed bag. We have no idea where this film is going. There was a lot of rumors before, with obviously Chadwick still around, like, oh, is this going to be Namor's appearance? With discussion of the underwater earthquake, like, oh, is that teasing Namor? Was Storm going to show up here? Because obviously Storm's been a love interest of Black Panther in the comics. Who knows? Now it's all up in the air. Of like, ball is in your court, you have free reign. So we'll have to, there's literally nothing I think we can predict from that film. So I don't know. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp. Only thing we know about that is Kang's going to be there because of, I think, poster art or something. So a lot up in the air. The Marvels. With the end of Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan swapping places with Carol Danvers. We know Miss Marvel returns in The Marvels, so it's going to be cool to see her make her film debut. Is it just going to be an adventure of how to get Kamala back home? Potentially. And then the Fantastic Four film we know nothing about. Apparently they're going to reveal the cast at the next D23, whenever that is. I think it's soon. So that'll be cool. I don't think John Krasinski is going to be making his return as Mr. Fantastic. A little bit of a sad face, but we got our fan moment of like fan casting in Doctor Strange. So I'll be excited to see who is in it. And that will be a fresh start for them as well. And then obviously we get the whole Doctor Doom dilemma. Does he show up? There was rumors of also him showing up in Black Panther as well, or at least fan theories. So yeah, time will tell. With those films of like what's going on, there's a lot of mystery, I would say, going into those films, as there kind of were with the rest of Phase 4. So what do we do for the big bad? What do we do for Kang? What's the point where we can start considering him the big bad? I already mentioned Quantum Mania. Maybe this will show his progression or his growth into the role of the TVA and taking over, potentially. Once we hit Loki Season 2, I think the ball will start getting rolling of like we can build Kang here. Whether, obviously, in the Loki show, and maybe some other stuff in potentially like a Phase 5. I know there's also some fan theories that it's not necessarily a big bad we're leading up to, but it's an event we're leading to. And that could be Secret Wars. Now, Secret Wars, from what I know, is a big crossover event where it's like multiverses fighting other multiverses. Let's see what they say here. Excuse me. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, commonly known as Secret Wars for short, is a 12-issue American comic book crossover limited series published from May 1984 to April 95, or 85, 84 to 85. Okay, yep, that didn't help me. Publication. Plot summary, here we go. A cosmic entity called the Beyonder observes the mainstream Marvel Universe, 616. Fascinated by the presence of superheroes on Earth and their potential, this entity chooses a group of both heroes and supervillains and teleports characters against their will to Battleworld, a planet created by Beyonder in a distant galaxy. This world has also been stocked with alien weapons and technology. The Beyonder then declares, "I am from beyond. Slay your enemy, and all that you desire shall be yours. Nothing you dream of is impossible for me to accomplish." The heroes include the Avengers, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Hawkeye, Iron Man, She-Hulk, Thor, the Wasp, and the Hulk. 3 members of the Fantastic Four, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic and the Thing, and solo heroes Spider-Man and Spider-Woman. The mutant team of X-Men, Colossus, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Professor X, Rogue, Storm, Wolverine, and Lockheed the Dragon. Magneto is featured as a hero, but immediately becomes non-aligned with the Avengers, when the Avengers question his presence. And villains include Absorbing Man, Doctor Doom, Dr. Octopus, the Enchantress, Kang the Conqueror, Claw, the Lizard, Molecule Man, Titania, Ultron, Volcana, and the Wrecking Crew. The cosmic entity Galactus also appears as a villain who immediately becomes non-aligned entity. So, a lot of shit I just threw at you. So, it's essentially just, hey, come here, all fight each other for amusement. At least from my glimpse of that summary. What does this mean for the movies? Good question. I don't know. I wish I could tell you a little bit more. My comic knowledge is not as strong as my MCU canon shit, I guess. So it's hard to deep dive or theorize about it. But people are theorizing that is what we're building up to. And I think they have announced that is a future project. I don't recall if it's a Disney Plus series or if it's a film itself. I assume it would be a film just because of the potential stakes that has. But only time will tell there. The biggest thing from the comics, at least that I know that occurred, was the first appearance of the black-suited Spider-Man, the Symbiote Spider-Man, which will eventually become Venom. So, in the MCU canon, we now know that the Venom symbiote is around due to Eddie Brock, Sony's Venom, being there and then wisping away with a part of the symbiote staying around. So we can make a new Venom. Would that be the big build of everything? No, I don't think so. Would it be cool to establish a new Venom in the Sonyverse? Or the Sony Spider-Man? Sorry, not the Sonyverse. We don't need Morbius showing up, all you Morbin fans. In the Tom Holland movies, would it be cool to establish a Venom? Yes, absolutely, and take a little bit different approach than... what's the actor's name? I'm not going to think of it. Tom Hardy. A different direction than the Tom Hardy Venom? Yes. Selfishly, I want more of an animated series where he's a little bit more aggressive and violent. But don't get me wrong, the Tom Hardy version does have its pros. And, has delivered in some ways as a character. But yeah, maybe there is a bigger payoff of Secret Wars that I don't know. So we'll have to see if that just leads to a Venom suit and Venom's arrival. I don't know if that's a big enough payoff for a build up to a phase 6 or whatever the fuck that would take place. So as of right now, Kang is the top contender for a big bad. So as for building purposes, it makes sense why phase 4 doesn't have a lot of build. Once again, due to the Loki conundrum in the timeline. Well, as an audience, it's a little... we don't have that full confirmation of a build. And once again, you could circle around and be like, oh, Bret, well, in phase 1, they didn't have a build. True. However, what was the post-credits of Iron Man 1? The post-credits of Iron Man 1 was Nick Fury making an appearance in Iron Man's mansion and saying, introducing the Avengers Initiative, right? That was your build. This whole phase, we're building the Avengers. You're going to get your Iron Man movie. Then you're going to get your Hulk movie. Then you're going to get Iron Man 2. You're going to get the tease of Thor. And then you're going to get the tease of Captain America. And then at the end of the phase, you get your moment of, oh my God, it's an Avengers movie. Yeah! Payoff, right? What's the end of Avengers? You get the shawarma scene, haha, and you get the Thanos reveal. Pink Chin turns around, does the whole grimace glare smile. Boom. There's your build for phase 2. So in phase 2, there's this looming force with the Infinity Stones, if you were, into the comic universe and kind of knew that about the Gauntlet and Thanos and the Gauntlet, you knew that was going to be the build. We had the seed planted with the Tesseract, which eventually would become the Soul Stone, right? Or not the Soul Stone, the fucking... Was it the Soul Stone? Or is Orange the Soul Stone? Whatever went into Vision's head. No, Tesseract of Space. Fuck you! I'm messing everything up. Sorry. I'm thinking the Scepter. You had the plant of the seed with the Space Stone with the Tesseract, and then the Mind Stone with Loki's Scepter, right? You had those plants, and then phase 2, we got more of the gems, or the stones. We got the ether, the ether in Dark World, which is the Reality Stone. We got the Power Stone from Guardians of the Galaxy. We got the Time Stone with Doctor Strange. We got that build there. Then we got to, what was the end of phase 2? I think Ant-Man was technically the end of phase 2. Interesting point to, let's look it up. Interesting point to stop. Yeah, Ant-Man was the end. It was Avengers Age of Ultron. You got like the teases and all these visions that Thor had of like things that were gonna happen. And then Ant-Man was kind of like this nice little wrap up. Didn't really leave us with anything per se. Phase 3. What was the build for phase 3? It was fucking Thanos gathering all the stones, right? Okay. Civil War. Oh no, the team's fighting against each other. Doctor Strange there. We're still building the Time Stone. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Uh-oh, Thanos is doing things. Spider-Man's introduced. Ragnarok. Thor doesn't have a home. Black Panther gets his own movie. Infinity War. Shit hits the fan. Ant-Man and the Wasp get a little backstory. Captain Marvel. New hero. Endgame. Shit really hits the fan. Far From Home. Ooh, afterward stuff, right? So right now in phase 4, we don't have a thread similar to the other phases. Avengers Initiative, stones, shit hits the fan. We don't have a building point yet right now. And maybe this will be something post phase 4 we can look back and be like, oh, hindsight, we were building something. I don't think that'll be the case because in the moment of the first 3 phases, we actively knew what was going on. And by we, I mean the hardcore fans. Maybe the general public didn't get it initially, but I feel over time they were picking up on those story beats as the films themselves also kind of laid out those things. For example, in Guardians of the Galaxy with the Collector, he flat out just shows you the 6 Infinity Stones and all these things that can happen. So, right now, what are we building towards? Nothing, really. Right now, we're in this weird gray area of fun. We have the fan service moments with multiverse. For example, Illuminati, Mighty Thor, Jane Foster, and like Loki variants. There's probably some other stuff too. And we have the building of new heroes. We have Shang-Chi that we're building. We have Kamala Khan that we're building. We have obviously Sam as the new Captain America. We have the new Black Widow and Yelena, new Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. Like, we're getting the build that phase 1 was, which is fine. That totally makes sense, and you have to do that. But as a big picture, something feels missing. And once again, it's not oh, this phase sucks, it's the worst thing ever. It's just missing that little extra bait that lures us along. Like, yeah, we're still excited for these next films, but it was almost like the trail of breadcrumbs. Like, you get the big thing that you're eating, and there's that little dessert after of like the next, oh, that goes with that. We still get the like post credits. We still get these teases for obviously what's next, but a lot of things are up in the air right now, where it's not building towards a big thing. It's like the next journey on someone's adventure. Where, okay, Eternals, we get this tease for Thanos' brother, Harry Styles, and this other thing. What's next for the Eternals? Boom, little tease there. We get the Black Knight and Blade tease. Boom, tease there. Shang-Chi, some space echo thingy. Boom, tease. I don't remember Black Widow's all that well. Doctor Strange, he's got a third eye and Clea's there. Boom. Spider-Man, what was Spider-Man's? Oh, Spider-Man's was Venom. Haha. Thor. Jane's in Valhalla. Great. And now Russell Crowe is pissed and he's going to send Hercules. Okay, that's fine. It's cool to see these moments too. But once again, there's no big thing we're building to. I think that's our biggest flaw in Phase 4 as of right now. Are there some other flaws in Phase 4? Yeah, not everything's hitting. It could be just like an influx of content. Like 2021 had 4 movies. 2022 had 3 movies. 23 has 4. And then for TV series, 2021, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2022 has 3 so far. So, oofa. You got a lot. As for Phase 1, it was 2 in 2008, 1 in 2010, 2 in 2011, and then 1 in 2012. Phase 2, 2 in 2013, 2 in 2014, 2 in 2015. Phase 3, 2 in 2016, 3 in 2017, 3 in 2018, 3 in 2019. So obviously a build there. But less. There is a lot of content right now. And I think someone has said, like, there's over 100 hours of content for Phase 4 alone right now. That's nuts. That's nuts to think about when you break it down. Is it fun, obviously, to dive more into these characters? Absolutely. But to put all this time into it, to not have a tease of where it's going, individual character stuff, great. I just want that big picture. I keep circling around to the big picture. I want the big picture. One tease hooks me, and I'm like, ooh, how did we get to that point? That's what I want. And maybe Loki, the end of Loki season 1 is supposed to be that for me. Maybe that's it. And I guess it is, because we're talking about Kang now. Like, oh, is he the big bad? How do we get to him? I guess that is our tease. It's just when the films haven't addressed it yet, maybe it doesn't feel like legit. And that sounds bad, that there's still this division of film and TV. But I guess that is the case. Until we have more crossover, it's going to be that way. Obviously, movie people have done their series like Falcon and Winter Soldier. Obviously, they're in movies, but now they're in a series. Wanda made the jump from WandaVision, obviously, to her film. But we're not seeing too much of, like, this happened in the show. This has repercussions in the movies. Wanda's the biggest example of that. And was it rewarding? Yes. Now I need more of that. Now with Kamala now in space somewhere, the Miss Marvel's movie, there's gonna feel like there's a connection. Loki not showing up at all in Thor Love and Thunder, a little sad, not gonna lie. Like, you imagine the mindfuck if he showed up in Love and Thunder at some point, just like, hey, I'm not dead. Kind of. I'm a variant of your brother, but still your brother. I need your help. Look, even a tease. Like, if that was the post-credits, like, that could have been a setup. That's a big setup. That's a big crossover. The time mechanic, and then you pull in the main movie thing. Like, whoa. And then obviously Thor's got to fucking deal with that mindfuck. But no, now he's got to go be an uncle, which good for him. I don't know. There's a lot of theory talk, a lot of everything. Just me talking out of my ass. And there's a lot of people obviously talking about it. Probably smarter people than me. But I'm just interested to see where this goes. And I don't want this to be something... We talked about the amount of content, obviously, they put out in this phase. I don't want it to be something where they're just shoving it down our throat because money. I want it to be good. I talked about it with JC. Like, I don't know if there's ever going to be a moment that tops Infinity War and Endgame. That's really hard to get to. But if you just feed us, not saying that this has all been bad, if you keep feeding us stuff just for money's sake and the quality's not there, there's no payoff at the end. You're either going to lose us on the way, or when it gets to that point, we're already like, no, we're good. So, what would I recommend as a lowly pedestrian here? Hi, Disney. Maybe slowing down would be a good thing. Obviously, your visual effects, that's a whole topic lately of conversation where things aren't the best quality and people are overworked, and that's not great. You need to be a little bit of a healthier relationship there. Yeah, maybe slow down. Like old saying, quantity over quality. Or sorry, that is not the saying. Flip it around, quality over quantity. Yikes. Quality over quantity. I know you want to get all of these characters in there. It's exciting for us that do know a deeper library of the Marvel Universe. Like, oh my god, Moon Knight's in here? Whoa, all these Eternal space people. Like, that's a real deep dive homework assignment. That's cool. Like, yeah, it's fun, and it's rewarding for those people who've been along for the ride and know the source material. But then if the quality goes down, as a fan, it's like, oh, why did I care in that? And once again, maybe I'm being too harsh, or like I'm not saying like, oh, this is all turned to shit because of 2 movies. Ugh. No. We've had some good stuff in Phase 4. Like I said, it started strong. The series started off strong. WandaVision's fantastic. Loki was fun. You know, I personally liked What If here and there because it was exciting and intriguing to explore these avenues. Moon Knight was great. Ms. Marvel has some ups and some downs. There's been good stuff. It's just you don't want to keep missing. And with 2 back-to-back movies that were controversial, that's not the term, but like 50-50, it's just like, oof, you know? Like, granted, the other phases had their movies that were oofs. I know a lot of people don't like Iron Man 2. A lot of people don't like Thor 1 and Thor Dark World. Iron Man 3, yeah, I get it. But overall, they were, like, still good. When 4 out of 6 are good, okay. Grand scheme of thing, that's not bad. But when it's in a short time period like it is now, that's where it starts setting in our heads like, uh-oh. This is not good. So, just puts on like that little alarm bell of like, alright. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on Phase 4. I'd love to hear what you guys think about Phase 4. Obviously, if you're liking it, disliking it, what your thoughts and theories are for Phase 4 going forward. Camera, you want to focus, please? Thank you. And then the upcoming Phase 5 and probably Phase 6 afterwards. But yeah, it's just a fun topic to discuss and talk about all the possibilities and things they're building to and whatnot. It's fun to theorize. So, hope you guys had a good time with it. This has been another episode of the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 143. Don't know if I said that at the beginning. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 at 8 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. Join the chat if you're a subscriber over there. We'd love to have you in on all the fun theory talk and discussion. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week, where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, hashtag ad merch store. Get all of your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand. Support us, and we would love you for it. Appreciate you guys hanging out today, giving this a watch, giving it a listen, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.